From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Powered by General Air Conditioners.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Rishi Kapoor went too soon and too suddenly, and actually just when we were waiting, and I was personally waiting for yet another comeback from him, true to his form, his cheerful and evergreen style, that's when he's gone. He was one of the first friends I made in Mumbai, where for many months he and I used to adjust our morning routine to make sure that we were on adjacent treadmills at our local gym in Bandra. And I at that time was completely starstruck by him. But he was so genuine and so warm, and he had this personality. He reached out, he listened. You got this feeling that you knew him for a very long time. And what I liked the most about Rishi Kapoor was his feistiness. He liked to provoke. He had this unrestrainable vibe. And how do I describe it? It's like even if the whole world wanted to control him, and many people wanted to, if the whole world came together and wanted to make him more controllable, predictable, they would fail. And I think he enjoyed making them fail. He enjoyed that. Because he really enjoyed provoking, debating, making the politically incorrect statements, those cheeky responses. And I remember my last interview with him, I'll play it at 10 o'clock today. Because tonight I'm dedicating the entire show in the prime time to Rishi Kapoor. You'll see the number of cheeky responses. I think he had two intentions in every response. Either he wanted to make you laugh or to respond. And I can tell you one other thing tonight, viewers. Lots will be told about him, of course, as an actor. And I'm no expert in cinema, so I'll hold back on that. But one thing I'll tell you about Rishi Kapoor. He was the most popular man at the salon that I shared with him for a decade. Because when we went for haircuts, we used to listen to our hairstylist more. Worried that if we speak, we'll get a nick. But Rishi Kapoor was different. He would ensure that everyone heard him loud and clear. So from the moment he entered the salon for his haircut till he went out, let me tell you, everyone heard him enter, heard him go, and listened to him with rapt attention throughout. So people have told me, how do you describe Rishi Kapoor today? When I got the news, I curbed my immediate instinct to go on record about Rishi Kapoor, because these things happen sometimes, that so many thoughts come to your mind sometimes when you get terrible news like this, that you don't know how to respond, you don't know what to say. But I thought through this through the whole day today. And just before I came into the studio, I think Rishi Kapoor was joy. That's the best way to define him. Absolute joy, unrestrained joy. And my last visual memory of him was when I had a business meeting in Bengaluru. I was coming back, and as I was walking to the gate, I saw him, and he was wearing very trendy sunshades and a very bright blue t-shirt. And of course, everyone was clicking selfies and he was smiling at everyone. And I went up to him, I said, "Sir, I think you can be a leading man once again." And he said, "Absolutely, bilkul tayyar," and everyone in the bus had a good laugh. Frankly, this week, viewers, has been devastating. I don't cover Bollywood, so I don't know film stars personally. But both Irfan and Rishi Kapoor were perhaps the only two people who I became friends with for over a decade and a half being in Mumbai. I began to consider them friends. They were on my mobile phone. I would talk to them sometimes. And one more thing I want to say about Rishi Kapoor. When I left my last job and I decided to launch Republic, he and I would speak almost every 4 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks or so. And he was most encouraging in those 5-6 months before the launch of this channel. He was personally encouraging. Personally encouraging. He almost became like an elder brother. So I think it's very rare to have friends of depth and honesty like Irfan and Rishi Kapoor. And believe me, viewers, it's completely shattering beyond words to lose them. So this has been a very difficult week. I cannot imagine a world without Rishi Kapoor and Irfan, and I'm sure many of you would have the same feeling about them. They had this ability to connect with you in such a deep way that they don't linger on. They stay on even stronger after they are gone. I said this about Irfan yesterday, and I can only repeat the same words about Rishi Kapoor today. So this entire prime time is dedicated to the one and only, inimitable, smiling, evergreen, cheerful, feisty, provocative, but totally lovable and completely loved Rishi Kapoor. One thing I'd say about him today, at the start of the show, he was so loved. All of India loved him. And that's why it's a particular loss for all of us. And I have Subhash Ghai is with us today, and he directed the blockbuster Karz 1980. Ramesh Sippi is with us today, directed the blockbuster Sagar 1985. Jolly Mukherjee sang for his movie Chandni, the famous song Rang Bhare Badal Se. Padmini Kolhapuri is with us. A film, I still remember going for this film as a kid. Prem Rog 1982, what a hit it was, directed by Raj Kapoor. Raza Murad with me today. Now he's worked with him in Prem Rog also, I think, and Henna, Laila Majnu. I have with me Neil Nitin Mukesh, who was one of his best. Nitin Mukesh is with us today, and Nitin ji has been a very close friend, very, very close friend, and we'll speak about him today. And the very well-known and respected film critic Bharti Pradhan. So we'll just remember him with a smile, like he wanted us to. And I was watching that interview, Subhash ji, of that I did there with Rishi Kapoor, 2018, and he was provoking me throughout the interview. He never let me finish a question properly. I'll play that interview. If you see the interview, Subhash ji, I think he spoke more than I would have wanted him to at the start. He didn't let me speak, so I always remember him with a smile. He wanted all of us to remember him with a smile. What are your memories? Let's remember all the memories and anecdotes about Rishi Kapoor today.
You see, if any actor or any personality can really overrule you, he can overrule everybody. And if he retorts or he replies bluntly, that is Rishi Kapoor. And that was Rishi Kapoor because we always knew. So we always used to talk to him that first he's going to oppose. No, aisa nahi hoga. No, I am saying. And after 2 minutes, he will say, yeah, point to tumhara theek hai, sochne layak hai. And after 6 weeks, he will join you with all discussion, you see, everything. And that is Rishi Kapoor. And we all know, including Neetu and his family, how to deal with Rishi Kapoor. You see, it was very important to understand him first, because he is always a man of spontaneity, man of impulse,
man of utmost honesty, without realizing that it is going to affect his reputation or goodwill or it is going to annoy other person. Rishi Kapoor, जो भीतर में था, वो बाहर से भी था. That is called Rishi Kapoor.
Yeah. Thank you for introductory. I'll go deeper into memories, and I'm sure you have many. Ramesh Sippy, iconic Indian film director and producer. Sir, you directed Rishi Kapoor in Sagar, 1985. Can you tell me how was it with Rishi Kapoor, Kamal Hassan and Dimple Kapadia all on the sets? Tell me about your bond with him and how is your association? How do you remember Rishi Kapoor?
Rishi Kapoor was a very warm, wonderful person and a very fine actor. Undoubtedly so. When it was work, if it had to, on the set, understand the scene, he gave full attention to what you were telling him, and he rolled it in his head. If he had anything to say, he would come out with it, discuss it, and then, once satisfied, we moved on the sets and moved on to the scene. Absolutely soft on.
After that, I didn't ever have to direct him. He understood and he gave his best. His eyes are the most fascinating, most eloquent part of him. He expresses himself so beautifully through his eyes as well. I mean, everything he does is beautiful and wonderful, but in particular his eyes. He speaks volumes with his eyes. I really do miss him. Genuinely do miss him. He did have something to say. He was a little upset. Is everybody on the set calls Dimple Ji, Kamal Ji, and you always call me Chintu in front of everyone. So, I realize that this is a set and it should not be so. So after that, of course, I called him Rishi Ji and made everyone, but very lightly, then he laughed about it and all that. But I had to remind him, I knew him for so many years and used to call Dabbu Dabbu and Chintu Chintu. So that's how I addressed him. But I did make it a point after that. He was absolutely marvelous to be with, to work with, everything.
I think he was provoking you even then. I get a feeling by insisting. I think he was just trying you out, if you ask me. You know, he would love getting a response, as I said, from everyone. Let me go across. Let me go. Padmini Kolhapuri's frame is frozen, so I will go to her in a bit. But if I can go across to Nitin Mukesh, more, you know, a very close personal friend. And it must be a very difficult day for you, Nitin Mukesh ji. Nitin ji, you have been childhood friends with Rishi Kapoor. In fact, I saw some pictures from the black and white era.
I knew.
Yeah. Please go on. Please go on, sir. Please go on. Please go on.
Today is the cruelest day today. I don't know why this had to happen during this time. I know Chintu since the day he was born. I was 2 years older than him, and our fathers were bachelorhood friends. Raj uncle called himself the body, and my father his soul. That was his magnanimity. But that's how our families became. We metamorphosed into one, and the Kapoors and the Mukeshes were inseparable. Where the heart is concerned, yo jism magar ek jaan hai. And we always have been.
Brother, my baby brother, in the past tense, and I couldn't even go go for his final rites. I'm feeling if God has ever to show me a crueler day than today, may he take me before that. I just don't want to see a crueler day than today. Having said that, I was listening to the glorious words that you had to say for Chintu when you met him at the gym. I could overhear you saying it, how you met him at the gym and how he charmed you out of your skin. Well, that's what he was made of. He was made of stuff that legends are made of. And I think God had destined that he lived just these many years. So he became a legend at such a young age. I think he became a legend with Bobby itself. And then there came youngsters, there came young actors, younger actors, his own son, my son, and a generation after them. Nobody can stand in front of Rishi Kapoor. None of them can ever match up to Chintu. And I feel that this country has lost the greatest actor ever. I'm wondering whether in generations to come there will be another great actor as great as Chintu. He had everything. He had the best looks. He looked like a Greek god. He had the talent. He had the lineage. He had everything going for him. But yet he worked hard. As a young boy, he worked hard and became what he is through his mehnat, through his hard work, not just because he was Raj Kapoor ji's son. I feel very proud of one thing, that my father and I both sang for him when he was a little baby in Mera Naam Joker. So he and I used to have a squabble. I said, you became a legend because I sang for you first. You were all of 14 and I sang for you. And he said, no, Nitin, Mukesh uncle sang for me first. Well, Mukesh uncle sang the song Teetar ke do aage teetar, teetar ke do piche teetar, from Mera Naam Joker.
Yeah.
But I would say I had the misfortune of singing these prophetic lines. Why are they so cruel? With a cheer, not a tear in your eye, wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. Give me a smile I can keep for a while in my heart while you're away. Till we meet once again, you and I, wish me luck as you wave me goodbye.
Yeah.
I would say goodbye, Chintu, on this note. And I can go on volumes speaking of him, but that's it. There are many after me. There are others who want to.
That's it. There are many after me. There are others who want to say things for him.
When did you
But
last meet him,
can you see me?
Nitinji?
Yeah, I can see you now.
Oh, wait, I can see you now. We are back. When did you last meet him,
I met
Nitinji?
him, when he was ill in America, I would write to him. I think now that I used to write to him depressive messages, and how, when are you coming back, my dear? I'm missing you and I'm dying to see you, and things like. But his replies to me, even when he was probably so critically ill, were so positive, so hilarious, and sometimes jokes, sometimes naughty jokes, and everything. And look at me. God has been kind that I could go to America 3-4 times a year, every year for the last 45 years. But just that 1 year when my brother was there, that 11-12 months I didn't have a show there, so I didn't go to America, and I couldn't see him. But I saw him at a very sad occasion at our Ritu Didi's funeral in Delhi in January, where when he walked in, you will not believe, from his step, no one could say that here is a man who has been so unwell and so ill in a hospital, and has come and walked with such grace. He went on to the stage and gave the most heart-wrenching speech for his dear sister. No one could say that this man is not going to live more than 2-3 months. Then there was a prayer meet when we all came to Bombay. There was a prayer meeting for Krishna auntie. On that occasion I met him. He was perfectly fine. I have to say one thing. Would you imagine he came back last year during Ganpati. He returned before the Visarjan. Sometime in the evening or night or afternoon, but he came the day before Visarjan and had not slept the whole night. Early morning I was sitting for my puja because that day was Visarjan, so I was getting ready. Early morning my wife comes to me, come out, see who's there. I said, what's the hurry, who's there, let them. He says, Chintu's come. I said, what? He's just landed last night. But his faith, his devoutness, that's the side of him nobody knows. People know his naughty side, people know his politically incorrect side. That is so unfair. He spoke his heart, he spoke the truth, and he called a spade a spade. He didn't care whether the world thinks he's right or not, because he had conviction that whatever he said was right. And I think people should be like that. He was there for Ganpati ji in the morning, and I was shocked. I said, Chintu, you must be so tired. He says, Nitin, I am fainting. But आज 27 साल से तेरे गणपति जी के कभी दर्शन मिल चुके नहीं है, इसलिए मैं चाहता हूँ कि मैं तेरे दर्शन करने तेरे आऊँ. That's what he was, and that's how I want to remember him. Yeah. He was, of course, I was very, very scared of him. His nature, his temper was uncontrollable at times, and we had to just run away, go into our own spots.
Nobody kinder, generous, more loving, and more humorous than. I'd like to remember him that way.
Yes.
I love you, Chintu. I love him a lot. Going to miss him for the rest of my life.
We all love him. That's what I said at the start. Nitinji, please stay. You know, I remember Raza Muradji. I'll come to you because I think I'm taking my time. So thank you for being patient with me. Jolly, I'm just coming to you, Jolly ji also. You know, I remember last time Raza Muradji, when he came on my program in May 2018, I'd been telling him that I've launched this channel. Won't you come to my studio even once? So he said, time or occasion dekh ke main aunga. And I think I really enjoyed that interview because I had a feeling he's interviewing me rather than the other way around. He was direct, he was straight, he was one of a kind. Razaji, I tried to provoke him. I said, why are you so controversial on Twitter? Ye kya bolte rehte aap? So you know what he said? He said, Josh mein kar diya. He said, Josh mein kar diya, to ho gaya. That's why I'm different from others. And you know, when someone replies to you like that, you don't know what to do. He was not even trying to explain. So I think he also loved the controversy. Raza Muradji, what are your memories of Rishi Kapoor? Your professional experience, your personal relationship with him, and anything else?
I have so many memories with Chintu. I started co-starring with him in Laila Majnu, then again in Prem Row. You know, he was brutally honest, brutally frank. He always spoke his mind. And he told me very frankly that he was not in favor of me doing the role in Prem Row. He felt that I'll be too frail or too weak to play this powerful role. But Raji had put his foot down and he casted me in that role. But after watching the film, Chintu came to me and he told me very honestly, Kirada, I was not in favor. I opposed your name. But after seeing the film, I must say that you have proved me wrong. I was wrong. And you have suited the role to the T. That was Rishi Kapoor. He always spoke his mind, irrespective of any outcome. He was an honest person, never minced his words. He called spade a spade always, and never regretted whatever he said. So he was an individual, not a diplomat, never indulged in any diplomatic talks. Whatever he felt, he told very honestly. So that was Chintu. That was Chintu.
Absolutely. Jolly Mukherjee is with us next. Jolly ji, we have an image with us of you, Rishi Kapoor, Shailendra Singh and Amit Kumar. All of you smiling there together.
Was the show that we had.
You are the face of the song. He was the face of your song Chandni O Meri Chandni. And that film in a way defined a generation of cinema in 1989. Tell me about the song, about working together with him and any other memories.
Well, my life had started as a backup singer in the film industry. And this song, particular song that I indebted, I give my, I'm always indebted for this song. And most of the time, whenever I met Rishi ji there, Chintu sir was always happy, and he used to tell me, Jolly, you have to live up to your name, you have to be happy. And I had the privilege of doing a lot of shows abroad, accompanying Rishi ji also. And I remember the last time, this photograph, what you said, was in Shanmukhanand Hall. I was singing, and I reminded him and asked him permission. Chintu ji, if you don't mind, can I sing another song of yours? And I sang the title track of the film Sahiban, in which he came up and said, Jolly, you really made me remind all these things, as a beautiful romantic song too. But Chandni remains the untimed and unparalleled song which has given me a lot of mileage, and till date, I have to sing that song. So I can never forget Chintu ji. And as he was always, whenever we have met, I have not met him much, at least about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
In foreign shows or in India. But whenever we met, it was a person with full.
Yeah.
And as everybody will miss him, I'll miss him too.
Absolutely.
Goodbye, Chintu ji.
Yeah.
Om Shanti.
Also joining us right now, you can see on your screen there is Anant Mahadevan. We have with us Poonam Dhillon. Hi Poonam. And we have with us Kanwarjit Pental. Thank you very much. Actor joining us from Mumbai. And our very own Rakesh Bedi is also joining us right now. And Amit Kumar is joining us in 1 minute. Before I come to you, Bharti Pradhan, one thing which I found, exceptional about him was that I think he was very modern. He was in with the times, and I think he was having a second coming. Over the last 6 or 7 years, maybe you can talk a bit about it. Over the last 6 or 7 years, he really came into his own in all these characters that he performed. The nature of cinema was changing. More compact films were being made which harnessed characters, and I think he was just beginning to love it. He told me about it, that I'm really loving this new experience over the last 7 or 8 years.
Arnab, first and foremost, my heart goes out to Neetu, to Ranbir and to Ridhima. I mean, if you, after knowing him for 15 years, I mean, if you're feeling the way you do today, can you imagine that deep sense of loss that they must be going through?
Of course.
So my heart really goes out to them first and foremost before I say anything else. You know, Chintu is somebody I met when he was shooting for Bobby. I was still in college and he was the first person that I ever interviewed in my career. We were at RK Studio and he was, you know, about a year older than me. We just got along like, you know, house on fire. We were the same, more or less the same age. So I've known him since Bobby. And I've seen him go through ups and downs, but the first thing that you could say about him as an actor was that whether it was the Rajesh Khanna era or whether it was the Amitabh Bachchan era, he was one actor who stood his ground. He didn't lose ground at any time. He didn't lose that to any of them. Whoever the reigning superstar was, Rishi Kapoor continued to be right there. And Rishi Kapoor 2.0 that you're talking about, I think he just loved it. He was reveling in it. You just showed clips of all those films, whether it was Mulk or it was D-Day or it was, you know, Rauf Lala, Agnipath, whatever. I mean, he just reveled in doing those roles. And he would tell me very, very often that now he is not straight-jacketed anymore. Because he used to, you know, earlier when he had to wear those jerseys and strum a guitar and sing those songs, he used to say that, I look at my face, I look rich, I look plump, I can never play a poor man. But in that second phase, he could play anything. He played that middle-class teacher in Doo Nichar. I mean, he could play Rauf Lala, he could play just anything because he was no longer restricted by either the box office or by an image. There was no image.
Yeah.
It was just the actor. So I think that was what he really reveled in.
Yeah. You also think so, Poonam, you were listening on keenly. You also think that in the second phase of his career, which really was the last 1 decade, precisely about 7, 8, 9 years, he came into his own. He was not straitjacketed. He could just be himself and he could challenge himself more professionally.
Absolutely, and I think he was truly enjoying that phase of his life. Because I remember him telling me that now I don't have to watch my weight. I don't have to worry कि मैं hero में पतला रहना चाहिए, fit होना चाहिए. I can play any character. I can put on weight. And most importantly, से ना मुझे हर फिल्म में इतने सिर्फ 10-15 दिन काम करना होता है. I get paid really well. I don't have to do dancing and fighting and all those things. Now I'm a character. I can do, fantastic things with my roles.
Yeah.
So I think really was enjoying that. Very few actors have had the, I would not say just the luck, but also talent to reinvent themselves and play such a different array of roles. But one thing which I must share today, which I was coming to my mind right now, when he was writing the book, one day suddenly, I was not in India, I get a call from him and he says, times he called, I was wondering why he's calling and I'm not, I just answered the call. I said, kya hua Chintu? He said, nahi yaar, I wanted to thank you. I thank you for what? He said, nahi bas, I'm writing my book and I'm going through all of you heroines who worked with me. You contributed so much to my career. So I want to tell you that thank you so much for doing those films with me, for being there as my co-actor. And that was so unlike to do that. So I think he was going through emotions which he was reliving his life when he was writing he was revisiting things that was. So I think it was the emotional time of his life. And after having written the book, he did send me a copy and a copy of his book. And of course, I wish he had been as undiplomatic in his book because he was the most undiplomatic guy I knew in real life. He could just say anything brazenly. He was not sugarcoating things in real life.
Yeah.
And he was such a true person. He was not fake from any act.
Yeah.
If he didn't like something, he would tell you
He would say it. Yeah, absolutely, Poonam. You know, he said to me, Goofy Pentalji, Rakesh Bedi, can you hear me? I'd like to get you in both. You know, Rakesh Bedi, he said, I just cannot be sugary sweet. People like me need to be honest. So for him, being sugary sweet was the opposite of being honest and full of energy, you know, very, very excitable man. So maybe you can share some personal memories
See, I have. I can tell you one thing that I've done.
Yeah, go on, Rakesh.
I've done a lot of films with him. I've done around 8-10 films with him, right from 1980s. And first thing which I want to say is I want to compliment him that entire half of 70s, full of 80s, full of 90s was the era of angry young man. It was not the time of a lover boy on the screen. But because of his sheer talent, he managed to survive. He managed to be at the top throughout all the 80s and 90s. And then he knew when to change the gear, and the turn of the century, turn of this, in 2001 or something, he changed the gear and he started doing character roles, and he knew how to survive, and he kept on,
Yeah.
And now one thing more which I want to share is that he used to always call me Bedi Saab. He never called me Rakesh. He never called me Bedi. He used to always call me Bedi Saab. I was younger than him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But वो जितनी इज्जत थी वो बेदी साहब के बाद खत्म हो जाती थी. उसके बाद वो जो तो पंजाबी का बड़ा बड़ा प्रसाद होता है ना, वो शुरू हो जाता था. तो वो जितनी इज्जत थी वो बेदी साहब पे खत्म हो जाती थी. तो उसके बाद बिकॉज ही वॉज अ ट्रू पंजाबी, लार्जर देन लाइफ, एंड मैं जितनी बार भी मिला हूँ, ही इज़ वन मैन कि मैंने कभी उनकी चेहरे पे कोई डिप्रेसिंग एक्सप्रेशन, कोई ऐसा कि आदमी मातम में है या परेशान है या दुखी है, नेवर. मतलब ही वॉज वन नॉच अबव, आप बेदी साहब क्या हाल चल रहा है आप, वो मिलते ही शुरुआत ही ऐसे होती थी. मतलब 5वें सुर से शुरुआत होती थी. तो मैंने उनको बहुत बार बोलता था, यार इज्जत देनी है तो पूरी तो खाली बेदी साहब बोलते हो, उसके बाद तुम पेंट उतार देते हो. तो बोले नहीं यार, अपना तो ऐसा ही है.
You know what he used to tell me, and Kawarjit ji, because I always, they look so similar, Goofy and Kawarjit ji, so I mistake sometimes. Kawarjit ji, you know what he used to tell me in the gym? He said, "तुम gym क्यों करते हो? तुम तो शाम को drink नहीं लोगे. तो I am gymming to deserve my drink. तुम तो time waste करने आए हो इधर." So he was very focused on why he was gymming. The reason was very clear, and the motivation was also extremely clear about him. Now, Kawarjit ji, you in 1975, Rafu Chakkar, tell me about it. You played the role of Salim and Rishi Kapoor played the role of Dev. Tell me about any memories that you have with him. The strongest ones.
Arnab, not any memories. I have lots and lots of memories. Because I started working with him right from his second film, which was Zahreela Insan, and where you just some time back mentioned that he started teasing Neetu and the thing there, Cheda Khani or thoda sa fair shuru hua tha. So I am a witness right from then on. And it was the confidence of this actor that in spite of being super hit in his first film as a lover boy, a chocolatey boy, he never wanted to do the regular roles. He wanted to do something different because he rightly said was a powerhouse of talent. And I remember then there was a lot of offers, lovely production houses, lovely subjects, everything. But he chose Zahreela Insan because it was a very different character. And I asked him, I said, "Teri image itni achhi ban gayi hai lover boy ki, why are you doing this?" So he said, "No, I want to do something different. Mujhe bhi regular rigmarole mein nahi rehna yaar." So the attitude of that guy, right from his second film, was to do something different. And he did something fantastic.
Yeah.
Right through his career. आज भी देखिए जो उन्होंने रोल किए हैं, कमाल हैं, perform so well from the heart. Because basically, let me tell you and share you with something, कि almost बचपन से हम दोनों का साथ रहा. बचपन in the sense of starting working together. He was very young, I was young. So he always had this junoon, एक दीवानापन था, एक पागलपन था. He used to really work hard, analyze and try to do something different all the time. He was so dedicated. He was so honest. And you know how, see, I'm not going to talk about him, what kind of a actor he was or what he did. For me, he was a friend. और आज मेरा यार चला गया है, बस. I'll always miss him. We have spent some lovely moments, personal moments. Hum pyala, hum niwala, what not. So, it's very difficult. In fact, to tell you the fact, I had refused to come on your show today because I knew I won't be able to take it.
Yeah.
But then I said, I felt that because आज जो हालात है जिसकी वजह से हम उसके अंतिम दर्शन करने, उसको गुड बाय करने नहीं जा सके, तो आपके थ्रू मुझे ये मौका मिला है कि I can say goodbye to a friend of mine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kamalji, I completely understand what you're saying. I want to say one thing. As I was coming in, I had a copy of the tweet that he put out. Let me see if I can pull it out right now. In the context, Anand Mahadevan, in the context of the present lockdown, I think this is the tweet, March 25th. And he put out a tweet, Anandji, I hope you can hear me. He said, "Good morning to all. I truly believe in this. This shall happen by God's grace." And this was the quote that he put. When this ends, and it will, every game will sell out. Every restaurant will have a 2-hour wait. Every kid will be glad to be in school. Everyone will love their job. The stock market will skyrocket and every other house will get TP'd and we will all embrace and shake hands. That's going to be a pretty good day. Hang in there, world. And I found it remarkable that when he was fighting the toughest of his battles, and it must not have been easy when he tweeted this, he was seeing the positive side. This is just about a month back. And when I saw this tweet, I saw his ability to see the brightest in the toughest of times. Anandji.
Yes, I mean, we are in, this seems very surreal and theatre of the absurd, losing two stalwarts in just about 2 days. And he was one of the most prolific actors and friends that we knew. I had about 3 phases with him. One when I was with Mr. V.P. Sathe, who was the right-hand man of Raj Kapoor, and I used to accompany him to RK Studios, and then I used to see and hear from Mr. Raj Kapoor how Chintu saved the last shirt off my back, because after Mera Naam Joker, I had taken a big risk with Bobby, and how Bobby became a big hit and saved RK and the studios. Of course, he didn't know me from Adam in those days because I was just an agency guy. But when I did start performing, we did 2 films together, Chandni and Hum Dono. Although I didn't have any scenes with him in Chandni, I mean, it was a great team with Vinod Khanna, Sridevi, him and Yashji. I mean, very coincidentally, all 4 of them aren't here with us. So, and then we did Hum Dono, we had some great scenes. And then the third phase was when I became a director, and then I used to meet him, and then that was when he expressed his total disillusionment with what he was doing. Although he was the perfect, one would say the heir to the throne after Rajesh Khanna to do romantic roles, but then he had had enough of it, and then he was saying, get me a script that would really challenge my limits and would push me to the edge, and that's what we want to do. And then one day a very strange thing happened. After some years after he had finished Blood Chale, the only film that he directed, he, and along with his brothers Rajiv and Ranveer, they called me to RK Studios and they said, we want to revive the RK banner, and it would be wonderful if we could work out a project together. And this was like unprecedented, and this was like a bolt from the blue for me. It was my chance to create history. And I went scampering around hunting for that elusive script. But somehow it didn't work out because everything had turned very modern and very today. And they wanted to stick to the RK style or the RK theme of, subjects. And it didn't work out. But then later we met after the fire at RK and he was quite devastated. And all the memorabilia that they had, including a Mitchell camera and all the costumes that they had in all the films, all that went up in smoke. And then we heard about this great battle with cancer. But he was young right up to the day he left.
That's the point, Anand. He was so young. He was so young.
And,
my God, there was an electric current around whenever he came into the studio. I'll tell you one thing, Anandji, in my personal experience, and I'm two people who I have met in my life, Poonamji, I'm sure you feel the same way, Ramesh Sippy, from Bollywood. Two people, whenever they came in, all the youngsters would jump in my newsroom. The first person, and I had the privilege of doing his last interview 1 month before, maybe 1 or 2 months before he passed, was Devanand. When Devanand came in, when I was in Times Now, he sat for an interview with me, and then after that he would come, he'd say, chicken sandwich lao, ab batao, aur baki kya ho raha hai. He had time to talk. And all the youngsters would love him. Same thing with Rishi Kapoor. After the interview, go around the newsroom, talk to the people, chat, and no artificiality about it. Just so natural. Because I'm short of time, Amit Kumar is with me now. Amit Kumar, playback singer, actor, music composer, son of Kishore Kumar. He has a strong personal association with Rishi Kapoor. He has sang for him in many films. No questions to ask, Amit ji. Your memories.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Amit ji.
Arnab ji, आपने मुझे मौका दिया. Well, as far as Mr. Rishi Kapoor, I would say he was a flamboyant actor. When Bobby was released, myself, my father, उस ज़माने में न्यू टॉकीज हुआ करता था बैंड्रा में. It was released in New Talkies, and myself and my father saw that film 4 or 5 times. And of course, my father was a great fan of Raj Kapoor Sahab from his days. और आपने जैसा कहा कि मैंने उनके लिए बहुत सारे तो गाने नहीं गाए, लेकिन 4-5 गाने गाए. मुझे याद है पहला गाना, the first song which I rendered for him, thanks to Rajesh Roshan and Tinu Anand ji for giving me that opportunity of singing in the film Duniya Meri Jeb Mein. Lata ji ke saath mera duet tha, and that was the first time I sang for him. But I just recalled a incident. My father was making a film those days in 74, Badti Ka Naam Dadi. I don't know whether you've heard about that. It was a slapstick comedy, and we were shooting at Filmala Studios in North Bombay, and he was shooting for Rafu Chakkar, and he bumped into the set. And I was there, Bapi Lai was there, my father was directing, and my father said, "Hey, pack up karo, Chintu aa gaya hai." Bug bug. Well, wahan pe, and that was after Bobby. And so I just thought about it. And one more thing I would like to, मैंने थोड़ा homework भी किया है. He sang 142 songs for my father. Sorry, my father gave playback for him for 142 songs.
Wow.
Starting from Zehreela Insan, 1984 to Hatiyar, 1984 to 89.
Yeah.
I have become a Guinness Book man. So, in 2015, I completed 50th year in our film industry. And there was a show organized at Shanmukhanand Hall where I was really surprised he made a surprise entry.
Wow.
He came to the show and he spoke about my father, spoke about me, and I said, "Aapko kaise malum ki I was born on 3rd July 1952? Bola maine sab homework karke aata hu main tere bare mein. You are 3 months older to me. I'm 67, so we are of the same age, And then, of course, I've had the scope of singing for him in a show in Dubai. That was in 2017, where he launched his book, Khullam Khulla.
Yeah.
And I was there. I performed along with my brother. And it was a Rishi Kapoor night. And he was in high spirits, you know. Backstage, he was there in his element. And when I came and met him, he said, "Kya gaya tune yaar? You're absolutely just like your father." So these are memories, right? He was a great performer, great actor, and a sacha insan. Sacha insan.
Yeah. You know,
thank you.
Yeah. At the end, I'm afraid I've not given everyone adequate time, but I've just got. I'll say one thing at the wrap. I think Rishi Kapoor is best speaking for himself, which is why I thought today I cancelled my second debate and I've just said I'll play my old interview with him and I'm going to sit back and watch it because I really love doing that interview. He gets under my skin more than the other way around. So I told him after the interview, I said that thank God you didn't become an anchor. So we had a good laugh about it. And, you know, I think Rishi Kapoor is one of those people many years and decades from now, we will all feel privileged to say that we lived in the same time and that we knew him. I think that
he was, according to me, he was one of a kind.
Yeah, that we knew him. I think that's what we'll carry with him. I thank you all very much for joining me today, and don't go away anywhere because after the break in July 2018, I recorded an episode of Nation Wants to Know with Rishi Kapoor. We spent about 3 hours together. I'll play that on the other side of the break.